In this video we'll focus on how you can modify forward bends to suit your body. We'll mainly focus on pain in the knees and tight hamstrings. So we'll start standing. You don't have to do this class along with me, you can just watch it for tips, but of course feel free to also practice at the same time. We'll come to the top of the mat, feet hip distance. And inhale, lifting the arms up. And exhale, folding forward. So the first thing to remember is that if your hamstrings are tight, bending the knees on the way down is absolutely fine. And if your fingers don't touch the floor, even with the knees bent, you can always take the hands onto the back of the legs. So it's up to you how much of a bend you have in your knees. You can still stretch your hamstrings with the knees bent. You know, it's just different for everybody. Some people get a stretch here, some people feel a stretch here. So you just stay here and breathe for a few breaths. And then we'll gradually roll up through the spine. So the thing to remember here is that if your hamstrings are really tight or you have any pain in your knees, you bend the knees. Okay, number one rule. That will hopefully help most problems that people have in forward bends. The other thing to remember is that when we bend the knees, we help the tilt of the pelvis. Okay, so when we go forward and we bend the knees, we allow ourselves to get a deeper forward bend with the knees bent because our pelvis can tilt and it can lengthen the lower back a little bit more. And it just helps relieve all of the tension you might feel around the back and the hips if you were to keep the knees straight. Now, so you can see here, my pelvis doesn't tilt as much with the legs straight. Yeah, kind of stuck a little bit here, but if I bend my knees, now I can fold a little bit deeper. Yeah, and this can be more beneficial. You can actually get a better forward bend with your knees bent than with your legs straight. Yeah, so never be afraid to bend the knees. Let's slowly roll back up. And of course, if you're doing this class along with me, just play about with these variations I'm giving. Yeah, just find something that works for your body. And we'll just show now how we can do this in a seated forward bend. So if we have that same principle, we can bend the knees here, which will give the pelvis more tilt, which will open the lower back more, which will still stretch the hamstrings, and then maybe we can reach the feet or get closer to the feet without needing a belt. Now this forward bend is absolutely fine. It does not have to look like this. Yeah, it doesn't have to at all. If you're looking for a better forward bend, you're looking for more length through your lower back, then you bend the knees. Yeah. If we're here with the legs straight and we feel pain behind the knees, again, bend the knees. If we're here and we feel really strong, like overwhelming sensation in the hamstrings, it's not like that they're stretching, it's verging on pain. Yeah, especially if that goes down behind the knees, we bend the knees. Yeah, really simple solution to lots of the common problems that people have in forward bends, and when they're really struggling to reach their feet, yeah, or this. Yeah, nothing's really happening for the spine and the back muscles here. Yeah. Whereas if we do this, we can tilt the pelvis, we can stretch the back muscles, we can stretch the hamstrings, and we keep our knees happy. Okay. If you do sit with your legs straight, one or both legs straight in your forward bend, and you can't sit up straight and so your pelvis drops back naturally, yeah. How can you fold forward from here? Yeah, you can. So you can do one of two things. Tight hamstrings and sore knees. Bend the knees, allow the pelvic tilt and fold. If the knees are happy, the hamstrings are okay, but it's the pelvis that gets in the way, yeah, then we come to sit on something. So at this point you might want a block or a belt. We bring ourselves to the edge of that support, so a cushion or blanket can be enough. It doesn't have to be high. For some people it's a few blocks, for other people it's just a very thin extra layer. And so your sit bones sit onto the edge of your support. Yeah? And then sitting onto the edge of the support with the legs straight, Helps you get that same tilt in the pelvis that you have when you're sat on the floor and the knees are bent. Yeah. And then maybe you can reach the feet, and then if you can't reach the feet and you're choosing to keep the legs straight because your hamstrings are reasonably flexible and your knees are fine, then you can use a belt around the feet instead. So really simple solutions to help you make forward bends accessible and actually enjoy them. I hope you found this video really helpful. Thank you for watching.